I'm Chris, welcome to SolarisKit. Today we're going to look at how to build your GravityFlow system. So let's have a look at what's inside the boxes. We have the collector box. You can see how to build this on our website on how to build your solar collector. This box, the bigger one, is the box that's got all the kit in it, all the boxes, all the fittings, all the pipe work. It's already in here. So let's take a look. We've got all the quick block. We have 2 tanks, a box of fittings, pipe work that we'll need to build this. We have round the edges, we have insulation. So just make sure you don't throw this away because it's not part of the protection, it's required for the build. So firstly, what we'll do is we'll just take the fittings box out just the way just now. Now, we have a certain amount of these quick blocks are pre-drilled, about 5 of them. There's 2 sections that are lids, so we don't need them just now. So the lids here, we can leave. The first 5, possibly in your box, will be the ones with holes in them. So we have a front section of level 1. So what we'll do is we will lie these down in their sections. 2 smaller sections and another large section. We can now get our pins from the box. Now, each of these blocks require 8 pins, so just get a handful out just to make sure you've got plenty. So it's easier to start with the front block. Now these will be indicated on the block. Take a side section, stand it up. Now, sometimes it's easier just to put the first pin upside down. You'll see a groove in the top, so upside down is the groove. Push that into the hole. Just push that in. And then take your next one. So it's 2 pins on each side. That's locked together. Okay, so block 1, you'll notice it's a smaller block than the rest of them, so we're just going to stand this block here for now and take out our second block of level 1, which again is 2 smaller sections, and this time 2 sections with no holes. There's no holes required on this one. This is purely just for stability for the tank. So again, just take the front, any big one is the front. Up in. Okay, so another smaller plain block, just fit that next to the front with the hole to make the square. Keep that at the side. So now the next one is just a plain larger block, so 4 of the larger sections. We can just lift that out again. So again, no holes on any of these blocks, so we can use any rotation, so we can just pin these together. Okay, so that's level 2 ready. So we'll see that there's top lugs on these. So the next box just sits on top of these and it'll just lock itself in. Now we're ready for level 3. So level 3 is going to be a mixture of holes and plain panels. So we need to get the right ones out again. So we have a front panel. So the hole's top right hand side, top left hand side when you're looking at it. The right hand side. So right hand side is going to be when standing looking this way towards the block. So right hand side would be on this side. So sit them together, and we need 2 plain. So as long as these 2 are in the right place, we know we have the box ready. So front and right hand side. Okay, so keeping this one at the front, just lift that on. Now that's the front panel, top left, right hand panel. It's going to have the hole at the bottom section there. Now take 2 sections of aluminium. There's 4 sections in the box, only 2 on this level. So inside there's little grooves on the underneath sides of these. So we go to the bottom. So at the start of the aluminium is going to be the other side of here. So push that in. Sometimes you need to push the frame just a little bit, just to make the angle, and then just sit them inside the bottom section of this block. From that we can now look at tank 1. This tank sits on the aluminium. You will see 2 tanks in the box. We are looking for the one that's got the flat lid and all the connections on it. Now this tank has 4 connections on it. We have the flow from the collector, so the hot returning into the tank is this front one, so on the front panel. So this is how the tank will sit. On the bottom we have the return, so this is a cold back to the collector, so this will allow the flow. We have the cold supply from the tank above. We'll look at that one a bit further. And this one here is the hot from this tank out to the appliance or your bucket or whatever you're using. So what we'll do is easier to stick at least this pipe in. So we will get the 2 sizes of pipe. So the longest one at this point in time is needed. So all we do is push it into the fitting at the bottom. So the tank will look like this. So this is quite tricky. We just need to slide this tank in and get the pipe out the hole at the same time. Sounds harder than it is, but the pipes are in a bend anyway, so it does help us quite a bit. Now we just sit that matching the holes. Okay, so we can now put the pipes in, so it's a little bit easier. Now we have small sections as well inside the bag. So there's 3 that are the same size, so we can fit the bottom one in. Just put that through the hole of the quick block and keep the other ones just now. Just this one will go through the next block. This front one will go through here, so this is the next size. We can just slide that through the hole, slide that in there. Now we have discs, pipe seals to go on, but we'll put that on later on before we connect all these pipes up. At this point it's really easier to start installing the insulation. So in the box you will notice that that's got insulation at the edges. It's not packaging, it's not part of the safety of the box. We will take the first one out and we will notice that there's a slit in it. What we want to do is try and get the slit so it's sliding past the pipe, and just keep pushing that down until that's sitting in. Just make sure the insulation goes either side of the pipe, and then that should sit there. And taking the next larger section, again, the back, it just allows to squash the tank against the insulation while feeding it down, and just try and slide that down there. Now, taking the side sections, so there'll be sections that wide, so this is a bit trickier to feed these in. Okay, so that's the side. So we have another one for the side with another slit, so that's for the top section. So trying to miss this connection with the insulation as you push down, and just make sure that the slit is round the fitting, so that will make it easier for the pipe to slip in. So we can install the top sections on top. So just make sure, again, just make sure this lid's tight. That will stop it leaking later on. It'll save from dismantling it all. So we want to make sure that everything's sealed as best we can get it. It's going to get another layer of quick blocks on top of that, so it will loop it round. Okay, so we're on to the next level. So we are looking for level 4. So level 4 is going to be another hole, just the one, and plain, 3 plain panels. So this one is going to be on the left, so this one is going to be on this side, so that we can just pin this together and move it around. Just get one more. Okay, so at this point, because of the insulation being on it, it makes it quite tricky to slide it down. So we'll try and leave it open and install it gradually round the tank, just pushing it in as we go. Now we get to here, we can close it and push it down. It should close itself in. So just hold the corner just until we get the pins in. Okay, so once it's sitting there, just make sure that the insulation's sitting nice on top of that. It's all nice and squashed in, nothing hanging out anywhere. That'll be fine. Okay, so that's the insulated level done, insulated tank. So at this point, can just to be able to hold onto the tank, just put the next pipe in. Okay, so we have all the pipes so far installed. Now we can look at the next level. So the next level will have another hole, but on the right hand side, and 3 blank pieces. So okay. So again, just one hole in this level. Okay, so taking the right and a blank panel. Again, because there's only one hole in this, we can clip it together with the pins and rotate it to suit, so it's not too difficult with just one hole. Okay, so now take the quick block and just sit this on top on that one. Now we're back to, we need 2 more sections of aluminium for the top tank to sit on. So same again, just install them into the grooves. Sometimes need to just pull the plastic apart just a little bit. And just sit them back in there. So now we're looking at the top tank. So the difference between the 2 tanks is the lid. This lid's a vented lid and it only has 1 pipe connection. So pipe connection is going to be sticking out to the right hand side of the unit. So we can put the tank in, and then the section of pipe, just give it everything a check, just to make sure it's tight. Okay, so sit this in and take this other last piece of small pipe now through the hole. Okay, so now the pipe's in. We will look at the last block. It's just a clear block, no holes at all in this one. So 4 sections with no holes. We can basically lock these together in any position. Now with this block, this quick block, we can stick this straight on top to cover the tanks, just purely a cover, so no holes. We need access to this tank for filling, so we'll not put the lid on it yet. What we'll look at is connections for the cold and put the valve on, and then we'll look at the collector. So in the box there's 1 more pipe, around about 450 long. We've got these discs, so these discs are just purely pipe covers, so we will need 2 of them, and I'll need 2 bends. So what I normally do is we could connect these up, so it's make sure the fitting's loose, push it on, tighten it up, do the same on the other side, put that on. So I'll have this. Now pipe clips, just slide over the pipe and lock into the frame. So slide these on. They can be loose, they'll probably fall off while we're doing this. So bottom one first, slide that in, tighten that on. Okay, just try and keep these on. Probably hold the tank with this one. Okay, so that's the cold side done. On the other side we have another disc to go in. We will use the valve on this side. So we have a John Guest valve, so we can leave it in the open position. So you can see the arrows just now, so we'll just push this on Again, pipe cover. Okay, so we can fix the pipe covers once we're filled up. So that's left open just now, so just got to remember that. Now from there we can look at the collector. Now the collector, I've pre-built this one. If you want to look at how to build it, it's on our website on how to build your SolarisKit solar collector. We have built this one so it's ready. So they're very easy to transport and lift, so less than 10 kilograms. Now, if we just set that in front of the collector just now, we have, so 2 more discs here, and 2 straight connectors. Now, on the collector I've fitted the reducers already. These come in the kit with the collector, so they will be in that box. So what I like to do is I like to connect the bottom one first. Put one disc over the pipe at the bottom and put the straight connector on this pipe. Shut the valve. Now it just might need to keep sliding this around a little bit. Slide that connection on. Again, you can try and fit this on just now, but it might move with things moving around. So that's the bottom one. So the top one, or the hot into the tanks, I normally I like to put the straight onto the reducing stem on the collector. These stems come with the collector, so they won't be in with this kit, they'll be in with the other one. Now at this point I'll keep the disc off because we'll have to move this around a little bit. Now see the difference between the collector on the how to build on our website. We have to reduce the height of the pipe work, so when this one is finished you will have 2 holes at the top of the absorber tree. Now the reason is quite important. If you pipe all the way to the top, the air will get trapped inside it, so that it will reduce the flow or stop it completely. So reducing the height by reducing the length of the pipe will allow the pipe to rise up the way to join onto this one, which will allow the flow up into the tank. The position we are in now, we need to look at filling the system with this side disconnected. The reason behind that is we want to air the system, and if we fill the tanks with this connected, the air gets trapped and it doesn't come out. So we air it through here very, very slowly at first, and then we can join it up after, but we can have a look at that and then we can join this section on. Let's look into filling the system now. What I like to do is I like to just turn this pipe, keeping it disconnected from the collector just now, put the pipe cover over. Okay, I'll just leave it loose just now. Now just for ease, I will take this section off just to fill it with a bucket. Can sometimes make it easier. Now what we'll do is we'll put the water from a bucket into the top tank. The water will flow down this pipe to the bottom tank. It will then slowly fill the tank at the bottom, but at the same time will go down through the collector and rise up. Now we're trying to push the air up through the coil so it will come out of here until we get a nice flow of water with no air in it. And once that's happened, we can join the pipe and the fitting together. Okay, so now we've got the bucket, we just need to slowly pour it in to the top tank. So now we've poured that in, it's going to slowly just start running down, filling up the bottom one. So we could just keep filling it very slowly. Take our time, fill it, keep an eye on the connection, and we'll just slowly let the water flow down, fill this tank, fill the collector. I'll just go and get more water. Oh look, it's starting to go already. So I'll pour this in, but the water will fill through, push the air up through the pipework. Now we want this to run for quite a little while. You will see air bubbles pushing out, so until that stops we want to just keep it running through. So I will keep putting water in there. Sometimes, depending on how quick the bottom tank's filling up, sometimes water comes out of here, but it's not a big problem. So just keep this running for around about 1 minute to 2 minutes, longer the better, just to get rid of as much of the air inside these pipes, and then we can just allow that to just keep filling up this bottom tank. We might get water out of here, don't panic, we can connect them up pretty easy. So this looks like it's running nice and clear now. That's been over a minute. So I'm quite happy with that we can now join this one together and then keep our eye on this valve. We've still got that open at this point. So just turn it round. Let's say you might get some water out of it. Just join it on. So I'm just going to keep filling it now. But what we need to do is keep an eye on the valve for the hot water side now. So I'll come around here. We have got this still open, so when the water flows down the pipe, it will rise up, pushing the air out while it's filling up with water. So I will just stay on this side. So sometimes you can hear the air getting pushed out. It's just the water rising up slowly, pushing the air out, filling the system. So we'll just keep filling this top tank until we get water out the hot valve. It's quite a slow process. By the time the water drains down from the top tank into the bottom, pushing the air out. So here we go. So we'll just let that run for a second. Let's not waste water. Let's catch that. So that's pretty much all the air now from the tank pushed up by the water out the tap. So happy to now close that. So that's the bottom tank now full. So we just need to top up the rest of the top tank. One more bucket. Okay, so I've filled that about halfway. You can fill it fully, then it will just last a little bit longer every time you drain water off from the tap. The top section and the lid can now be fitted. So this is a vented lid, so it can be reasonably secured on. Doesn't have to be too tight. Top section back over the tank. Now we have two sections left in the box. We've got two lids, basically, two halves. So it doesn't matter which way these go on, it's just to cover the system. So now the system's full, we can look at insulating the pipes. So we only look at insulating two sections of the pipes. So we have two different sizes. We purely just to help the circulation of the GravityFlow system, we need to insulate the flow and return pipes. So insulate the bottom, even though that's on the cold side, It still needs to be insulated just to stop it heating and causing issues with flow. Insulate the top one just to stop heat loss when it's rising back up into the tank. That's now the system ready to use. The simple system is cold storage tank, cold feed pipe, so cold feed from top tank to bottom tank. The water will go in the bottom, cold. This will then allow cold water to drop down round the collector. The heat from the sun will generate a lot of heat inside the pipework, which will make the heat rise, and the water will climb up, and this convection will continue all day when the sun is out. After a full day of the sun, it will heat this volume ready for use, and you can take the water from the hot water tap. Some top tips: make sure the system is in direct sunlight for most of the day so we can track the sun. No shading from the housing, no shading from trees or buildings. We also recommend that at least once a week flush the system. Just emptying it out will clear this level. The bottom one is always full, so we need to either heat it or drain it. If we can't drain it once a week, we supply a chlorine tablet once a week. Drop it in the top tank. This will then dissolve. It will take some time, about an hour. You can then let this draw it down into the bottom tank, clear the tank of any bacteria, and it can be used safely after that. That's the GravityFlow system ready. Now we can turn the sun's energy into hot water.